Welcome back, YouTubers, to a Wednesday video of us, the British Fist.
Catching.
And you're probably wondering why we're standing here instead of sitting here. Well, we just felt like doing something different for this dual topic video. In this video, we're going to be talking about John Cena's injury, and then later on how we giving our thoughts on the Ryback character. I'm Mr. Parkin though, and this guy standing and bowing is none other than NJ. Everybody. Subscribe up above, like this video, and comment your thoughts down in that comment section below on John Cena's injury and the WWE going forward, plus Ryback being this new big star for WWE.
And make sure you contact us in the link box below.
Yeah, so I think we should start on the pressing topic, which is John Cena's injury. Now, apparently he's going to be out for a couple of weeks now. He wasn't on the last edition of Raw, which in my opinion was very lackluster. It seems that there may be a possibility that there's not going to be a John Cena CM Punk main event, but I think the more pressing issue for me is John Cena is now 35. He's getting injured now. He's going to have accumulated loads of injuries over the course of his career. I think my question here really is, what are they going to do without John Cena, especially when he is injured? How are they going to who are they going to build their company around, really? It's about time we get someone new.
Well, at this moment in time, I can see the benefits and the negatives of losing Cena for a little while. But without Cena in the way, I think the concentration will be put on Punk.
Yeah.
And I think that is definitely needed, because if Cena was here, there's a big chance that in the end it's all going to come back down to Cena instead of concentrating on Punk, who they would like to be higher than where he is at now.
And essentially, you bring up a point which I think should be the crux of this video, really. You say that they're going to put all the concentration on CM Punk. The ratings may not be very good, and the reason why the ratings aren't going to be very good and why people may not have as much interest is because they haven't really built up a new star for the company. They haven't really built up a guy that people can really care about, because essentially at the end of the day, as we've seen many times in WWE, it's all about John Cena. And when it's all about John Cena, when you lose that guy, the roots of your plant are going to be getting cut, aren't they, essentially?
So that is true, and now I'm just looking at it thinking that CM Punk is one guy who should have, when he came back from his past injuries, should have been at a higher place, but obviously the story was evolved around Cena. There's like other wrestlers who maybe get spotted. We've already got Orton and Sheamus already there. But now there should be other wrestlers who are going to get the push up there.
There should be Cody Rhodes. I mean, I don't like him, but even a guy like Dolph Ziggler, Damien Sandow, guy who we're going to talk about later on in this video, Ryback, should really be getting pushed into this spot right now, which you could argue he is. But the point of this video being that the first half of this topic, what would WWE do without John Cena? Well, they would pretty much go down the shit pan, wouldn't they? If they didn't have John Cena, their main draw, their top guy. I mean, WWE back in the day, when Hogan wasn't there, they still had Ultimate Warrior to call on, the Macho Man. When Austin went out for a year with his neck injury, they still had Triple H and Rock. Why is that? Because they were creating new stars. And with Cena injured, it doesn't really seem like WWE are really making the effort to do that, apart from maybe with the guy we're going to talk about later in this video.
The thing about the WWE, this is probably where a little bit of the split shows could become a problem. Because if both shows were together, you'd have top stars all over the place, all in one show. Yes, you have SmackDown wrestlers appearing on Raw, but it would help if both shows were combined. But the other thing is, without Cena there, it's going to be a bit of a shame, but the WWE have not done a good job at saying, right, every year we're going to be getting a new main eventer, we're going to be getting a new guy to push. They've got wrestlers who are trying to get there, but their build has not been working out fully for them to make us believe that they're going to be a future star.
I mean, they've tried it with CM Punk now twice. And let's face it, the first time, it made him into a main eventer, but it didn't make him into a main event draw. And I guess that is my problem with the WWE. Essentially, at the end of the day, whatever they do, whatever people seem to do to try and push themselves up there, they just can't get past that glass ceiling, which is essentially John Cena. And people out there will say, oh, what a great Raw without John Cena. Well, in my opinion, this Raw was lackluster because John Cena wasn't there. You didn't have that top guy. You didn't have that guy. I mean, CM Punk and John Cena are the main event feud. They're going to be the main event at Hell in a Cell. What if John Cena wasn't there for Raw, so you couldn't have an effective main event segment. What if he's not there for Hell in a Cell? What if he gets a broken leg or something and is out for a year? What are WWE going to do then? They would be quaking in their fucking boots.
Well, talk about Raw. Yes, you could put some of the blame on Cena, but the way I see it, the whole show overall, they could not keep the matches entertaining long enough, making sense. So even without, I don't think Cena was the main problem with Raw. I think it was just the booking overall. Cena may have helped Punk segments, but Punk still did good without Cena. So in my opinion, Raw didn't need Cena, but like the future main events going to pay-per-views may need Cena, but not the build-up for this.
The thing is that you had all these guys on Raw, like, Miz, Ziggler, all these guys that really should be a lot higher than they really are and should have been really made into stars by now. But essentially, you don't have that. You have a show filled with mid-carders and you have a show filled with guys who you can't care about. Guys like Cesaro, guys like Brodus Clay, etc. Guys that you just cannot really care about because essentially at the end of the day, it all revolves around John Cena. And that is something the WWE are desperately going to have to get behind because they're not going to have him in maybe 5 years' time when Vince McMahon decides, well, this guy is 40 years old now, he's too injury prone, and people have stopped caring about him. People have said, why not turn John Cena heel? But if you turn him heel, who would be the top guy to carry the brand on Raw? You wouldn't have one.
The thing is, they've got the wrestlers that should be main eventers, but they've just not been able to get there for many reasons, and Cena being one of them. But if we're going down with Cena injury, there will be a chance he will come back, things will go back to normal. But for now, when he's out of the way, the priority should be to give others a chance. Because as soon as Cena comes back, no matter what they do during that time, it is going to come back to Cena.
And essentially, even though you're trying to give guys like Punk a rub from this, essentially it won't work. Because the WWE have revolved around John Cena for so much that when they try and push these new guys, they're going to have to do it so quickly. They haven't done it over time. They're going to have to do this all so quickly. I mean, Ryback has all of a sudden been pushed into the main event scene. Yes, I feel he'll probably be there in a while, but it's way too early to be pushing Ryback into a main event scene, even though I think it's giving him a good rub. And like I said, it highlights once again the big problem in WWE right now, which is the big lack of stars, because they can't let anyone get ahead John Cena. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, sometime soon it's going to have to be about someone else other than John Cena.
That's the thing, all the new wrestlers came in. The reason I'm not been able to get behind them is because they've not had the feud. They've not had the build. Like Ryback, he's had all these big impressive matches, but majority of them have been like against local wrestlers, or they've been against these now and again matches with like Jinder and that. Nothing feud-wise to build him up thinking, right, that feud was all about pushing him. Sandow, he's not really had really much feud. That's why he's probably having to go into a tag thing, because they've not got direction for him. Cody Rhodes, IC, then that failed, so he's gone into a tag. So again, Ryback is the one we're going to be concentrating on soon. But I've just not been able to pick a new wrestler to get behind because their booking has been failing.
Exactly, and if WWE don't make him feel like a main event guy, why should we sit there as people getting behind the company and believe this guy should be a main event star? A great example of this is Dolph Ziggler. People on the internet say, Dolph Ziggler, what a great wrestler he is, what a great main eventer he's going to be. But you look at the way WWE are booking him. How are casual fans who don't know about all this around the business, how good of a wrestler Dolph Ziggler is, how are casual fans supposed to get behind him when he's jobbing week in, wing out to Sheamus? I mean, he's been involved in big feuds, but has he won them? No. So pointless. This is, again, another example of WWE pulling the rug out from underneath guys like Dolph Ziggler.
There's quite a few guys they pulled the rug under. Like, The Miz used to be the main eventer, like WrestleMania.
Del Rio.
They had Del Rio, and they had, like, well, Barrett. He was a next in that, but now he's just trying to... He is going to get back up there soon, but not in the best way possible. No. Ryback is the only hope that they... Even though, if he does get pushed to the main event because Cena being replaced or injured, it's still not done right because he's not had feuds to say, like, he's gone through this to get to the top.
I mean, what better time now to probably switch the topic to Ryback? You'd say Ryback has been pushed into this main event scene. You know, I reckon he's only there really to replace John Cena while he's in there. I don't think he will get a title shot. I think that is way too early. But you cannot deny this. You know for one fact that Vince McMahon really wants to push this guy. He has the Vince McMahon, I want to push you look. He has pretty much everything that Vince McMahon likes in a main eventer. Yes, the internet may not like Ryback because he's a big guy, he can't wrestle a technical style or whatever. But let's face it, sometimes there are more important things in the business than in-ring ability, and Ryback does have that kind of it factor that Vincent McMahon wants, and that is why he will go to the... And I am all behind it. I am massively behind this because, like we said earlier, no one can seem to get past John Cena. And so if a guy like Ryback can get past John Cena, then yes, I'm all fucking for it. I don't give a shit.
Well, at the minute, as much as the reports said that Ryback is... or Vince is behind Ryback, the booking of Ryback is not really showing me that he's going to be a main eventer. He's been going through, as I've said many times when we talk about Ryback, local wrestlers, the odd matches like Jinder and that. He's not had views that they can say, right, this is a progression now, this is a step. So if they do put him into the title picture, main event picture, just because Cena being gone, I wouldn't really agree with it. No.
No, I mean, the booking itself, I mean, they booked him to beat jobbers and stuff, then they booked him to beat WWE superstars. That was fine. It went on for a little bit too long, and like you said, there is a real lack of progression up the card for Ryback. I mean, I thought the WWE would probably do this right with Ryback, get him involved with a feud with a Miz. That lasted, 2 weeks? You had him in 2 matches of 10-side. You really do need to give Ryback, before he can really be in that main event scene or replacing Cena, which I can understand why they're doing this, as they do want to give him some kind of rub. But they needed, like NJ said, to get him involved in some kind of feuds, because they need to steadily build him up the card. And that is how guys like Austin were made stars. That is how guys like John Cena were made stars. Batista were made stars. Orton were made stars. Hell, even guys like Ultimate Warrior were made stars. You know, classic IC champion, then you make your way up to the main event scene. And that's something Ryback is going to get pushed very quickly, like a Brock Lesnar.
I do see it going really fast, because right now they're teasing him and Punk. And Punk is obviously at the top of the WWE, even though Cena's higher. He's not gone through wrestlers like The Miz properly. He's not gone through, let's say, Ziggler. He's not gone through wrestlers who are below, Cody Rhodes. Just something to give him going up the ladder. He's just gone straight from local wrestlers, Jinder, and now straight to possibly Punk. And to be honest, they're having to do this because they're thinking, what are the top Raw babyface, shall we say? Because SmackDown's going okay.
Yeah.
Raw's not got anyone. So now they're having to push wrestlers who think, he's more ready, but I'm not having too much hopes for Ryback.
I'll say this, right. John Cena is the top babyface on Raw. We cannot deny that. But who is the next babyface on Raw? Could you give me the next babyface on the Raw brand?
If they switch this particular one I'm thinking of, it could happen.
Who's this?
The Miz.
The Miz is a babyface?
I think they could switch it. Yes, he's strong as a heel, but the fact that he's been in the main event, the fact he's been a heel for so long, a character change, see if it works, I think it could be a possibility.
I'm talking realistic second babyface, like for example when they had Cena Orton or Cena Rey Mysterio or Cena Batista or something like that. You don't really have that second believable babyface, which is why they're having to rush Ryback into this role. And I don't have a problem with them rushing like a guy like Ryback, and then they did it with Brock Lesnar, and they managed to book him very well enough to be put in that main event scene believably by having things like winning King of the Ring and stuff. But Ryback really hasn't done all that much. I really felt that as soon as Vince McMahon was going to unleash the pain, which is Ryback on Miz, for example, they were going to really do the right thing with him. I don't mind him being pushed into the main event scene as a replacement for John Cena, because that's all he is. He's essentially a replacement for John Cena. They're really testing it out, see if the crowd reacts to him, see how much of a rub they can get him from a guy like Jim Ross, etc. But he's not ready for that main event scene yet, but they do need to get this guy ready by WrestleMania 30. I'm putting that down, WrestleMania 30, to take over John Cena's spot, because sooner or later you're either going to have to turn him heel and evolve the character, or he's just not going to be as much of a draw because people are fed up with him, essentially, at the end of the day.
WrestleMania 30 is the time where he's going to need a big opponent, because that would have been a year or just over a year, enough time for him to get through feuds and stuff. But the thing I want to bring up now is, now we've got Cena injured, and until it's diagnosed or said properly, we don't know how long he's really going to be out for. We've got big pay-per-views coming, we've got the Rumble where The Rock is. What is Punk going to do? Because if Punk goes all the way through these different opponents, it kind of goes back on the whole Cena-Punk feud.
Yeah.
So are they having to throw Ryback and Punk? But then, obviously, Cena should be back before Rumble. I'm just questioning, these big pay-per-views we have coming, what's going to happen with them?
While I'm here, NJ, I'd like to get your quick thoughts on Ryback, not just as a performer, but as a possible future top guy for the company. I just want your thoughts here.
Well, I look at Ryback, again, I'm liking him, but not liking his booking. If his booking improves over the next few months and he does not get pushed too fast, he does go through good feuds, maybe I'll like him more. But right now, I don't see as much as Vince wants us to see it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Vince McMahon sees something in him, and the best thing Vince needs to do is portray that across to us. I see why Vince McMahon likes him. He's got that big Batista-like, Hulk Hogan-like size. I mean, he's got untested mic skills. They're doing something that hasn't really been done in a long time. They're trying to do some kind of streak with this guy, starting him off fresh and doing a streak. I understand why Vince McMahon wants to push this guy to the main event. He has that look, which Vince McMahon absolutely loves in his main eventers. We cannot deny that. But he has been pushed very fast. And I don't mind getting pushed very fast, but if you're going to do it fast, you're going to have to give him really big, logical steps to get into that main event. And I think they're just testing him there. I'm not going to dwell on that too much yet. But Ryback, in my opinion, simply because of the fact that I don't want to see Cena in that main event scene for another 5 years and dominating it. I'm going to get right behind the Ryback push, just in the same way. I know people don't like it now, just in the same way as I got behind the Sheamus push, because, like I said, I just wanted anyone else other than Orton at the top on SmackDown. Now I want anyone else other than Cena on top on Raw, because I'm so fed up with him to the fact that I will take Ryback, even though he may not be that great of a performer if we think about it.
But at the minute, I'm just wanting to see more stuff before Ryback, before I judge his main event status, because at the minute I don't see him as a main eventer.
No, we haven't really seen him wrestle a 10-minute match or anything. He's probably going to be wrestling those matches on house shows, don't get me wrong, but you haven't really seen him wrestle. I mean, he botched his finisher twice against Tensai, which isn't really the best way to introduce yourself to a crowd sometimes. But like I said, we just want to hear your thoughts on the John Cena injury situation, what the WWE are going to do going forward with John Cena being injured, how that may affect the WWE in the meantime, and also the long term. And we also want to get your thoughts on the Ryback character, and do you think he can be a top star for the company? So it's been a good video, NJ.
It's been very good.
Indeed.
Now I'll say from Mr. Parkin and me, NJ, till next time, YouTubers, goodbye.